Okay, we're starting the Manhood Academy podcasting early, and we have 2 students here. We're waiting for Boggs. We have Franchise in the house.
Yep.
And Paperclip in the house. And we're soon to get Boggles. So, let's cover... Oh, I must warn you, the FBI compels me to warn you that this broadcast is being recorded. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. This may be released in DVD format and porn videos. You don't know, but we reserve the right to use it in any way possible, shape, form, for answering machines, faxes, audio fax machines. You know what? At rides, at Disneyland rides. We might pioneer various formats, audio formats, to include possibly making calls with your audio likeness so we don't get blamed. There could be unlimited purposes. So we just want to let you know that up front.
I hereby agree to the above written
statement. Okay, you've agreed. It's passed. Motion is carried. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this over here since it'll be in the middle of the room. Whoop. Okay, we're just waiting for Boggles to come on back. What the? Let's get a serene, non-distracting screen. We need like some kind of background. Let's go wallpapers. Wallpaper. We're gonna try and have a non-distracting background image of a turtle.
Yeah, nobody will say anything about a turtle.
Nobody will say anything about seeing a full-size image of a turtle.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. It was just hosted by Travel Blog. No hot linking.
Fucking Travel Blog.
Fucking Travel Blog. Such assholes. Okay.
Golf ball, dude.
We're going through this one looks hardcore. I don't know if this will be too distracting, though.
No, because I don't think we're going to...
Looks like a full-size image of Halo.
Yeah, it's Halo.
It's very distracting.
Is that Halo?
Let's look at the texture.
Wait, you don't shoot aliens.
I don't know. It looks like aliens being shot by some,
it's
Master Chief or something. Okay, we're just going to put that right there and get you distracted.
All right.
Okay, so what's on the agenda? Let's cover what you guys want to cover. I mean, you want to have class, franchise, so let's cover what you want to cover. What do you want to cover?
Well, I mean, my personal situation is like...
Or we can wait for Boggs. It's up to you.
We should wait for Boggs.
Okay.
That'd be more fun.
Well, then we can just hear about what's going on. What's going down.
What's going down?
Yeah.
With me?
Yeah, with you.
Sweet, dude. So, I haven't seen you in 5 months now.
5 months is a long time.
It's a very long time. This has been sort of my, get thrown out into the forest with a bow and arrow and see if I can survive type of situation. Right. And I survived, but I'm badly burned at the same time, so... I need to come back and learn some more stuff. So when I last left, it was like I was very good at expressing, whatever I was expressing, whatever that happened to be. But I wasn't good at leading a conversation, stating interest, things of that nature. The actual things that you need to express.
Right.
So I went through a couple different exercises that I put myself through. The most notable, which was the one where I basically walked up to chicks and said, "Hey, I like something about you, this, or this." Usually hair or whatever, and try to expand on it a little bit, and then say, "I want to go out with you."
Something about your hair.
It's usually like, "I like your hair because it's shiny and it reminds me of you being like a Cali beach girl or something," something like that, right?
Something slick like that.
Something slick and suave and cool, and then say, "I want to go out with you," and that was just like, I really didn't have the intention of having a full conversation. I was just doing that just to do that, right? Just to get practice doing that specific thing. So. I did that for a while and got, surprising results because, obviously I was afraid of it because I thought it was just going to blow up in my face, and then to see it doesn't, it actually works, and they kind of like it, that is
sweet.
It's
just a compliment. Right? Starts it off.
Yeah, just to get it going, right?
Just a compliment.
So I did that for a while, and I felt really good about where I was going, I felt like, it was just sort of a matter of time. I was on the right track.
Top of the world!
But then it just, I kind of started having
faked himself out. Thought he was farther along than he actually was.
Precisely, man. So basically, when that happened, I sort of felt like I didn't really have.
Felt like he was a loser, looking for a nearest ledge to jump off of.
Pretty much, dude.
Needed some help. Wanted to come back to class, and here he is. And I noticed that you don't have your hat on. At the beginning of class, years and years ago, you used to have a hat. Bring it off, and made a rule you're not allowed to wear a hat anymore.
True
and now you don't even bring a hat to class anymore. It's like a totally different person has morphed and come to class.
The me that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, it's strange.
Well, I'm glad it's strange then, I guess.
Bizarre. And meanwhile, the other student who doesn't wear a hat now wears a hat and looks totally bizarre. Very interesting transition.
Yes. These are things that we didn't plan for. They just happen. You don't know what sort of transition.
You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. Hey, you two, get off the couch. Yeah, get off the couch.
There we go.
Okay, so we're waiting for Boggles.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with our foreign student? Oh, he's in covert mode. He's the one to be on the podcast.
Dude,
so I'm going to go back to...
We're going to go back to me again.
back to franchise.
Well, nothing's changed since I talked to you 2 minutes ago, so...
Nothing's
changed. I didn't suddenly realize that I'm a swamp kid, but I don't need this class. I thought I did for a second, but it turned out to be another fake realization.
We checked in with franchise moments ago to see how it was going on, and we thought we'd recheck it back with him.
I went back out.
If, his whole life has changed around.
I went back out and got shot down by 10 more chicks. I had to come back.
Seems like in the last 10 minutes he's crashed and burned furiously, but he's come back, and now he's back in class.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're waiting for Boggs until we get the real stuff, right?
So, we're waiting for Boggs.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's basically just an update of where I'm at. So, I mean, sort of like where I was in the past couple weeks, it's like, when I look at it objectively, it's like where I am compared to where I was 6 months ago, 6 months before that, like tons of progress, right? Everything's changing. But at the same time, like, I'm talking to chicks now, it's frustrating, right? It's the point where it's like the same...
Well, how are you talking to them? Like, I'm a chick. Hey, how's it going?
Why am I talking to them?
No, how are you talking
How
to
am I talking to them?
Yeah. Because if we had some more specific conversations, it'd be much more helpful than just a general gist of you talking to a chick. Because as we've known from past experience, whenever students say, hey, I had a good time talking to this chick, it could mean you punched her in the face, and you had a good time punching her in the face. So students have a very delusional view. Why am I talking to them on my phone like it's a microphone? I don't know.
I don't know.
Students have a very,
fixation.
Students have a very delusional view of what is a quote-quote good conversation, a good interaction, because they're referencing their past experience of what they consider is like really going well. Like, if a chick isn't running away screaming or isn't totally cursing them out, in their mind that is a good conversation. At Manhood Academy, that is nowhere near a good conversation. Good conversation means you are getting your needs met. You're getting your expectations met. It's good. That's good. Good is equal to you're happy with what happened in the conversation. That is what you wanted to happen. If it didn't happen the way you wanted it to happen, it's a bad conversation. I don't care if you won $1 million. If your goal was to get $2 million, it didn't happen, you had a bad conversation. So, like when you say I'm having good times doing this and that, it goes in one ear and out the other for me. Yeah. I'm more concerned with the specifics of the conversation, of where it went, according to what you're trying to accomplish with it. Mm-hmm. Were you trying to attract the girl? Were you trying to get a relationship with a girl? Were you trying to interest this girl? And if you did not meet that, I should correct that. There's two things. The two things I'm concerned with is not necessarily if you attract the girl. The more important thing is, did you meet your personal expectations for you, for what you wanted to do in the conversation? For instance, if your goal was to make eye contact with a girl, and you're talking to a girl, and it didn't go anywhere with a girl, but you made eye contact as solidly as you could, or as solidly as you had hoped for yourself, to me, that is a successful conversation, because again, it's based on your expectation for yourself. If your goal is to tell a girl you like her, to be able to express your interest in her, or if your goal is to be free-flowing in a conversation where you're talking to a girl and you're able to express what you want to express in a conversation. If those are your goals, they're based on what you control, what you can do. You are in charge of deciding whether that goal is met or not. Or I should say, you're in charge of whether or not you accomplish that goal. She has no control over it. You are the only one in control over it. Mm-hmm. If you meet that goal for yourself in the conversation, you had a good conversation. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a further aspect, which I could say, I guess, is more dependent on her response, which is whether you're doing the things necessary to attract her on your side, so you meet your conversational expectations, you meet your goals for the social interaction, and then also there's a response from her, which is meeting your expectation, which means she's attracted. Like, let's say, barring external factors like she has a boyfriend already, or she's married, or she's not flying back to her country in Brazil the next day, and it's practical for her to meet you again. Then there's that side of the expectation, which is more an expectation that is out of your control. Her response. If you can control the part where you attract her, where you do things necessary to attract her, but the other half of that is she has to have a response. Now, she could be a total bitch. She could have dated 20 guys before you. She could have broken up with her boyfriend that day and be totally bitter against men. There's other factors that are out of your control, which you basically just have to not necessarily, try and second guess or account for, but the best you could do is control your expectations for yourself during the conversation. So that to me is really the hallmark of successful conversation, because like even me, if I talk to a girl, I basically know what I want to do. And if I can do what I want to do, I'm not really concerned with her response, because I know I'm doing attractive things that will attract a girl if she's open to be attracted. If she's not open to be attracted, like say she's getting out of a relationship, she's really bitter, or she's maybe she's an ultra feminist and she expects certain behavior, but doesn't realize she expects certain behavior from men that she doesn't hold herself accountable to. So she's very difficult to talk to. Like, for instance, this girl I talked to at Starbucks recently, that was on the last podcast I talked about. It was a very difficult girl to talk to. But I maintained my expectations during the conversation, so I would consider that a success, even though she was attracted to some extent in that she said, give me your number. We know that that's usually a bad idea. If a girl says, give me your number, she's not going to call you. But I felt I had talked to her for a long enough time, had moved her emotions up and down long enough that it was, at least, there was a better shot than just if I said for whatever reason, hey, I like you, she said, I like you back, and then give your number. That, I probably would have said, that's going nowhere. Because there was no emotional investment on her part. So the key thing is to get that emotional investment to get her to call back. So if there's no emotional investment or very little time talking to her, very little opportunity to build that emotional investment. And the more days that you don't get a call, or the more days that you don't hear from her, or the more time in between you're speaking to her, there's a subsiding of that emotional investment, because initially it's just she's just responding to you doing the right things, to you doing the things that are going to attract the girl. Her emotions are up, her emotions are happy. So girls ride their emotions. They'll even give you a number based on their emotional response to you. Hang on a second, I think Boggs is here. Yes! Yes, thank you. Let him in, please. Thank you. Okay, so our third student has finally arrived. Okay, so what was I saying? You were doing the things that are necessary to attract her.
You were talking about the more time you go between talking to her.
Oh yeah, okay, so if you're doing the things that are necessary to attract her, initially she might have a good emotional response and be great. She may be willing to go out that day. But let's say she has a test and she can't do it for a practical reason. She can't go out with you that day. Mm-hmm. So she plans to go out with you to the next day. Well, she may actually be planning that based on her emotions. But the next day, because there isn't that solid emotional investment, it's going to wear off. It's like you had a shot of adrenaline, and now the next day that you're not feeling as pumped up. So in the same sense, because you're not there talking to her the next day, you in her mind, you go back to being a stranger. She may associate with you speaking to her that she had a good experience, but that same strong emotional feeling isn't there like when you were there present talking to her yesterday. So based on that, she may just change her mind and go, no, not going to call you. I don't feel emotionally invested enough to call you. I'm not attracted right now because the emotion's gone. So for that reason too, girls change their minds, don't call. Even though they intend to. They have the intention to the first time they meet you because they have an emotional investment. Their emotions are up. But it's not a solid emotional investment. So that's why it's important when you're first talking to a girl to get as much time as possible talking to her, or to express yourself as much as possible. For instance, let's say you just talk to a girl and you go, hey, I like you. You're coming up, okay, there's a number of things that are going to be in your favor which are going to create a strong emotional response. Like, if you look at her directly in the eyes and you say, hey, I like you. I want to talk to you. Okay? If you're standing up straight and tall, you're not hunched over, showing her in your body language, if you're hunched over, that you're subconscious, you're worried about what people think of you. So you're a person who has no authority, is what you're communicating to her without saying in words with your body. So if your posture's good, your posture's nice straight back, talking to her, and your eye contact is good, also letting her know you're not worried about what she thinks of you. You're letting her know you have authority by keeping your eye contact with her. So all these little things are indicating you're an authoritative person. You can create order, which is ultimately attractive. This is ultimately what you're conveying to a girl, which is attractive, is that you're a person, you're an agent of order, you can create order for her life. So when you're speaking to her now, you're leading the conversation. Hey, I like you. I want the conversation to go this way. You're letting her know, you are an agent of order. You can bring order to her life. You, right now, know how to lead the conversation. This is very attractive to a girl. So very quickly, with just your body language, your eye contact, and then your tone of voice. Hey, I like you. You're not saying, hey, I like you. Hey, or you're stuttering. You're not ending your sentences in a question. You're not going like, hey, I like you. And, like a girl says when she's talking. And then Becky said to Tina, like, when they're saying things with a question format where they raise their voice at the end, they're asking for approval. They're saying, is this okay to say? I'm not sure about this opinion, but I'd like you to validate me and give me some pleasing response when I'm talking this way. That's the same way that guys sometimes speak to girls or speak to guys. Even they have that habit of talking like this, or they raise their voice at the end. It's like asking a question. It's not definite. Like they say, hey, what time is it? Basically saying, do I have permission to be asking this question? Is it okay for me to ask the time? So you're communicating a lot of things, even with your tone. You say, what time is it? Right? Versus, what time is it? There's all these little things that you convey in just this quick second or quick, short, 30-second conversation. All these things overlap and give her an impression about your authority. Your voice tone, your body posture. Also with your hands. Like, are you fidgeting with your hands? Are you, when I was in 6th grade, I used to talk and hold my right or my left arm with my right hand. Right by the side of my body, tight. Boggles, come on in, Boggles.
Oh, nice.
Quiet down!
There you go.
You loud dog. Keep it down. We're in the middle of broadcasting, of Boggle casting. Boggler has arrived. As always, we have franchise, and we have our silent student, Paperclip. Okay, so, what was I saying? Boggles came.
You were talking about how you used to hold your arm.
Okay, yeah, so I'm in 6th grade. I used to hold my left arm with my right hand tight into my body. Again, why did I do that? Because I'm nervous, because I'm worried what other people are thinking about me. So even these, maybe when you're talking to her, you might be shifting your weight from side to side, from foot to foot, like, hey, how's it going? Or when you fidget, when you get nervous and you either shake your leg, when you're sitting down and you're bouncing your leg, bounce your arm against your leg, or you're rocking back and forth, you're just like, you're getting like swinging your arms back and forth because you're trying to find something to do. It's almost like when people, when they get a cigarette, they get a cigarette when they're nervous or they want to smoke when they're nervous, they want to have something in their hands. It's something to do with their hands so they feel uncomfortable having things in their hands. So all these little things, your body language, whether you're comfortable with yourself, that also conveys whether you have authority or not. If you're comfortable with yourself, you're not worried about meeting the other person's expectations. You're not habitually worried about how do I make this other person happy. So this is showing you have some authority. You have some ability to create order. All these little things in a short amount of time convey to a girl, I'm in the authoritative position. I can create order in your life. I'm attractive. Just body language alone and just the tone of your voice. And then there's the actual things of what you're saying, like you're complimenting her. Hey, I like your hair. It's so beautiful. I want to talk to you. The way you speak. You're not rushing through. There's so many other things that convey authority. Like you're not rushing. Hey, I like the way you speak. Blah, blah, blah. You're not so worried about scrunching every single word in like Boggler, like Indians, right? Or you're also slowing down. You're not same thing. You're not speaking at the speed of light. You're articulate. You're not mumbling under your breath, worried about what she's going to think. You're not saying, hey, I look at her, muffled, right? Or just speaking down into your chest. Because again, nervousness, the things you're conveying are being conveyed in your body, are being conveyed through your body language. Oh, wait, it paused. I wonder if it's still going. I hope it's still going. Hold on, man. You might have lost it, man. No! Is it still going? Oh, it's still going. The screen just blanked. Okay, so I better do this. I'm going to have it up. Beep, 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 beep. Where's that little teacup? Yeah, that'll keep the screen up. Okay, so all these things convey authority when you're speaking to a girl. And also the content of what you're saying. If you say, I like you, your hair smells great, or your eyes, they're so sparkly, like little gems. Just like these little things you could say that have no significance, but the way you say them convey your authority. So when a girl hears these things, she becomes attracted because you're creating order. You're speaking in an orderly manner. And even in a short time, you can create an attractive persona, an attractive, charismatic personal experience for her. The longer you're able to speak to her, the longer you speak to her, the more emotional investment she's going to have in you because, again, you're doing the things that are attractive. You're leading the conversation. Then it's not so much you saying cool things, but it's just you doing what you're doing. It's just you practicing the good habits of an authoritative person. It's so much more important that your body language is right, that your voice tone is right, that your eye contact is right, that your speaking is not hurried. You're saying things at a rate that is comfortable to you. And another thing I forgot to cover, when you're speaking into your shirt, you're muffled, or you're just mumbling. This is conveying that, again, you're worried about what she thinks of you. So when you're able to speak articulately, speak clearly, if people are always asking, what was that? Could you repeat that? What was that? Could you repeat that? Chances are you're speaking too fast, or you're not articulating clearly enough so the person can understand you, right? Not saying, hey, I like you. Because you're worried about once you throw that out there, now you're worried, oh, what's she going to think of me? So it's much easier to go, hey, I like you. Or you're going to say it on your breath, hey, I like you, right? Very muffled. So there's various ways you could say that convey, I'm worried about what you think of me. I don't have enough authority. So when you're if somebody's saying, hey, I don't understand you, could you repeat that? Or they're saying, what was that? Or they're saying what constantly? Check and see, am I being articulate? Am I being clear when I'm saying something? So all of these things are conveying your authority. So if you're getting in the habit of speaking clearly, and these are really simple things. These are, body language is not like a speech you have to remember. It's just stand up straight. Eye contact is it's just a habit you should have. Even talking to guys is just making eye contact when you're speaking. Making eye contact, it's a habit you should have, or start developing now. When you're speaking to people, you should be speaking clearly. You should speak at a rate that's comfortable to you. So these are little things that you can practice right now. And if you practice these little things, that is a large part of attracting a girl. That is a large part. Then it's like, you could say stupid things where they're not so smooth. Like, I could say, oh, I like your eyes. They remind me of mangoes. Not such a stellar, super duper compliment, but because I'm conveying it in a way that says I'm authoritative, I can create order in your life. I'm an orderly person. I'm having an orderly social interaction with you. That's attractive enough. Maybe not to every girl, but for a large percentage of girls, just my presentation is good enough. The way I'm presenting that compliment is good enough. I like your eyes. They remind me of mangoes. I love mangoes. So, therefore, I like you. I want to go out with you. I want to call you. I want to find out what you're like. Not even a nice, linear, coherent thought. I like mangoes, therefore I like you. Makes no sense. But because I'm presenting it in an authoritative way, that's all the sense it needs to make. You don't need to be so super duper congruent like most guys are worried. If this isn't logically making sense, she'll never buy it. Wrong. One thing you should learn from speaking to women is they are not the logical ones. Guys are the logical ones. They're more the emotional ones. Also, a lot of reason why you guys are worried about talking to girls is because, hold on, we got a chat click on here. It's distracting me. A lot of reason why you guys are worried about talking to girls because you think of them as like guys, that they're just as logical as you, that they make just as much sense as you. So you're worried about meeting their logic expectations. You should be realizing girls are so emotion driven. That's going to be up to you. That's why that responsibility is on you to lead that conversation, to make it logical and coherent. That's why it's up to you to enforce your expectations, your functional expectations, because 99 times out of 100, her fucking expectations are going to be haywire. She's going to reason and give you reasons for her expectations. They're not even going to make sense. They're going to contradict other expectations she has over here. Like a column I just read in a device column. It says, the guy should be doing X, Y, and Z, and at the end it says, oh, by the way, pay for the date. The guy should always pay for the date. This is from a feminist whose reasoning completely is in denial of the fact that most feminists think that they're not making enough pay that men are making, which is proven to be false. That's another argument, but they want to be paid the same as men, have the same respect, get the same respect that men receive, but yet they want to enforce this sexist expectation where you should be paying. Why should you be paying? Because it's traditional. Their reasoning, they don't have a valid reason for that. They're going to tell you it's a gentlemanly thing to do. Meanwhile, they're trying to avoid being seen as a lady. They're trying to say, hey, you should respect me just like a man gets respected. We're equals. So their reasoning is not sound. It's very emotional. But you guys give them the same respect that you give to men. And this is another big problem. It's like another brick on your back for why you can't talk to girls, or why you're worried about, why it makes you anxious to speak to a girl, why you're intimidated by girls, why, this girl's so beautiful, but you look at her beauty and go, that trumps my intelligence, that trumps my ability to create order. You're looking at her beauty as a trump card. Once you start talking to women, you realize the way she looks at beauty and the way you look at beauty are two different things. They're two different ideas. They're two different values. It's almost like the reason why girls emphasize being smart, having degrees, having accomplishments to attract men. They have no idea that, hey, if they just went on a diet, they just stopped eating less, they just started exercising, they'd have a better chance than their 12 PhDs of attracting a man. Because they're applying their criteria, social status. If I have high social status, the guys don't like me. Whereas guys are going around going, oh, if I was just hot enough, a girl would like me. They're applying guy criteria to attraction. Again, now this is covered in the ebook. Bogler, you made it. We're starting class officially. So now let's go ahead. I went off on 5 different tangents.
Yeah.
There's distractions everywhere. I got blinking phone lights, dogs making sounds, Bogler coming in late, quiet students. I have all kinds of distractions everywhere. Woo! Let's talk turkey. Let's get away from chaos. Let's talk turkey. Let's talk to franchise. Let's see what's going on.
So, basically, like I was saying before, I made a lot of progress in terms of, like you were saying before, when your goal is just to say what you want to say and to get your expectation for what you want to say met. My expectation for a while was, all I want to say is, I like you because of this reason and I want to go out with you. And I did that for a while and got pleasurable responses, which was good. I mean, that's the training, right? Is to go from like, you think you're gonna die doing this to, it actually makes girls actually respond well to it, right?
Right.
So that was a training I went in for a while. So after I did that, I sort of went out more haphazardly. Like you say, what are your expectations going in? And I really didn't have that many. I sort of figured just like the puzzle was going to come together itself for some reason. Like I would walk up to girls and like have no idea what I really wanted to say.
Just happy-go-lucky, just
Yeah.
walking along. Oh, there's a girl. It's just going to work out.
Yeah, and I'd just get up there and I would say something that sounded retarded because I hadn't put any thought into it and wasn't really responding to anything other than the fact that I just wanted to say something, so it wasn't silent. So I kind of got in one sense, like I got a couple girls' numbers, and I had that one chick that I got really close to going out with. So it was like just my basic conversation skills that I developed made up for a lot. But at the same time, I had no direction in mind. I had no idea what my expectation was. So I ended up with a lot of results that were invalidating, that were painful. So
Such as,
I mean, just girls walking away in the conversations. Some girls that flaked.
a lot of girls are flake, by the way.
Yeah.
Just like we said, not necessarily that you did things wrong, but just that
Right, but
they
I
don't
mean-
have the emotional investment.
Right, but at this point, it's sort of like, I can't really chalk it up to either it would have worked out just like on average as opposed to like,
You don't know if it's still your responsibility, like you just
Yeah.
didn't track her enough and she just giving you your number to go away,
Right.
or whether she actually just...
Yeah. So I mean, based on the fact that, I've had probably three numbers in the last 3 months, and two of them were girls that I really almost went out with until I fucked it up like in the last minute, and only one of them flaked. Like, if you look at it objectively, like I'm progressing really well, right?
So did they call back or answer at least when you call them, or what? Did you
Yeah.
actually
I
talk
mean,
at
it's
the same
like
time?
so like this girl a couple months ago, I got her number and I called her and. I was very open and very expressive in the message. Like,
Right.
this was like a couple months ago, and it went really well. And she responded very well. I said, "I like you because of this. I like you because of this."
So
I
should
wanna
she
do
call
this with
back?
you."
You got answer machine first, right?
No,
Oh, she called
she
her?
answered.
Okay,
she
she got
answered,
it.
and I talked to her, and we planned
Uh-huh.
a date. And then like the next day, she said, she said I can't go because she didn't give a reason. She just texted, and like I didn't understand anything about expectation management at that point. So my
Okay.
response was very harsh and very, don't fucking do this. I don't like,
Right.
me do this thing. So she just didn't
Not
respond
enough
after that.
incentive.
Yeah, not enough. Well, I mean, it's like I could have been a little more, provide the opportunity to make it up, type of thing. I was just very harsh, very direct.
You were
very
like,
angry.
assuming she was emotionally invested because she responded,
Yeah,
that you were just going to make your expectations known and she was going to follow them.
Right.
But she had no incentive to do that.
Right.
So that was just a problem about knowing that you should just build more, give her more incentive by building more attraction. Not just
Yeah.
basically doing the things you're doing. Keep talking to her.
Right.
Call her again. Oh, we'll do it some other time.
Right.
Just keep talking to her. Attract her again.
yeah. And so I mean, I jumped the gun there on that
Okay.
one. So, but anyway, she was going to go out, so that was a decent
That's
success,
good.
right? Then I had the one chick I wrote that field report about, which was total cold approach.
Oh, by the way, let's back up real quick.
Okay.
That chick, that's also happened to a lot of guys, me too, included, where you'll plan something out,
Yeah.
a date, and the longer it's planned out, like if it's the next day, it's better than if it's like the next week.
Right.
Because girls
Yeah.
are like birds. They're like, they're easily scared. I know girls all like to think they're tough like guys. It's complete bullshit. Girls are so emotionally driven that, in their mind, dating a guy is a huge stressful thing. For you, it's like a great thing because you're like, hey, we're going to meet each other. We're going to get into a relationship. We're both going to be happy. We're both going to be satisfied with each other. Where in her mind, it's like, I have to talk to a stranger. I don't know what to say. It's going to be awkward. Like, they're so worried about all the possible things that could go wrong. They're like neurotic. They're so insecure that they think themselves out of the good time that they could possibly have. They don't realize the bottom line is the reason you're meeting so you can have a good time with each other. And also it has to do with their mindset. Their mindset is so competitive with a guy. They don't think they're going on a date with you as much as they're trying to fight with you. They're trying to be competitive with you to figure out who's going to beat who, and then eventually romance is going to blossom based on that. They don't realize you guys are actually trying to be on the same page. You guys are actually trying to figure out how you can best cooperate to get into a relationship. In their minds, they're thinking, how can we best compete against each other to get into a relationship? So even their goals are undermining their progress to get to where you guys want to get. Girls' goals are undermining their progress when they say, "Look, we need to compete. Our powers need, our authority needs to compete. I need to challenge you as much as you challenge me. We need to, I need you to realize that I need as much respect as you get, and not necessarily so much that, but they're gonna argue their opinions." And if they don't have that emotional investment, it almost becomes adversarial. And that's something which requires practice, which requires expectation management practice, and talking to girls and realizing when you first meet them, if you're not attracting them right off the bat, sometimes you get combative with girls. Like, girls will just be like, let's say you're really good talking to girls. You have no problem talking to girls. You're very open. I'll get, for instance, a combative thing that says you're a player. Oh, you're a player. You talk to all the girls, blah, 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 right? Now, I usually dishonor that by saying, look, you should be happy I'm talking to you. Because if I was nervous, I would never talk to you. You would never have this great time. And they go, oh, yeah. Now, why didn't she think of that? She can think of that, right? She has a brain. She's a girl. She's retarded. Most guys fail to realize how retarded girls are when it comes to matters of the heart, when it comes to emotions, when it comes to relationships. Well, actually, when it comes to anything, but this is the emphasis here. Their emotions will trip them up. Their view of things will trip them up. They have so many conflicting opinions in women's magazines and so many different philosophies for relationships. These are bound. There's no way they can't blow up in their face at present. But girls don't realize this. They just think they need more advice. When they really need to realize that 99% of the advice they're getting is bullshit, and it's preventing them from getting into a relationship with you. So, like you said, this girl, number one, she's like a bird. She's nervous. So, she may be very willing to date you, but as time draws closer to getting to that date, she's creating stress for herself, thinking, oh no, what am I going to wear? What am I going to say?
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking, oh, awesome. I'm nervous. I'm going to meet a cool, hot chick again. But she's like, oh, I hope there's no awkward silence. I mean, these things are actually preventing her from going on the date. They're going to cause her to make excuses. She's thinking, instead of going to this, I don't want this pressure. It's too much. I'm too stressed. My mom's sick in the hospital. Yeah. I got to go pick her up. My friend's at the airport, so I can't make it. Yeah. They're going to make all number of bullshit excuses.
Right.
So, you got to address that. Just give her more incentive. Make her feel more comfortable. Talk to her more, just say, yeah, great, okay, we'll plan something else, right? She doesn't have enough emotional investment in you for you to get your expectations met, for you to cut her off and say, you know what, bitch, you need to respect my time. If you can't show up for the date, fuck off. That's not going to work with a girl you just met.
Right.
Because she doesn't have, again, enough emotional investment. Now, let's say you were dating a girl for like a month or 2 or 3 months, and then she flaked on a date, and she was really emotionally invested in you, and you said, look, bitch, if you fucking flake on me again, I'm not going to see you. Then she might apologize, and then she might be like, no problem meeting your expectation, because she's emotionally invested in you. She has emotions in you, right? She has emotions in you. She basically is invested. She's invested. She loves you, whatever.
The one thing you're saying that, like, sort of rings true to me, it's like a realization to me, is like, it's not a matter of, yes, you're not far along enough that you have enough emotional investment from her that you can get those expectations met like that, but that's not like, you fucked up when you met her. It's not like you didn't do a good enough job when you met her. It's just sort of like, it needs to progress naturally. It needs to build. It needs to keep going. It's not like, I mean, yeah, it's possible maybe to just wow a chick so much the first time you meet her that it's like, it's on from there, but it's like a normal thing to have these type of things happen, right?
Yeah, well, it's actually more abnormal to approach a strange girl that you don't know, like, let's say, in a store, and talk to her, versus the way most people meet is, you'll know a friend of a friend, or you'll work with this girl, and you'll be introduced at a party or something, or you'll see this girl continually over a course of time where she gets more comfortable with you. Like, let's say you guys work together. And slowly, because she gets more comfortable with you, if you ask her out or you want to go out, there's already that interest already built because you've seen each other day after day after day. And she's comfortable enough with you that, now if you want to go out, there's no problem, there's no issue with flaking. Because she feels comfortable. Again, girls are like birds. It's like, if you're a cat trying to catch a bird, and you just rush up to the bird, it's going to fly away. So, as a cat, you gotta creep up slowly. Right? Little slow steps. Bird gets comfortable, and then you pounce on it and eat it, tear its head off. Now, in this analogy, you don't want to tear a girl's heads off, otherwise you become a serial killer. The point is to catch a girl, to get a girl on a date, to get a girl in a relationship, to attract the girl. You have to slowly work up to it. Not saying that you can't, it's not possible to bang a girl first date you meet her, but again, that's not the emphasis here. The emphasis is on creating attraction and knowing how to create it, and knowing and realizing that there are certain obstacles that can get in the way, like for instance, how long you've known her, the time frame, and other factors like that are under your control, your body language, your tone of voice, etc. There's also cock blockers. So there's various other little things that are sometimes that get in the way of attraction, but for the most part, you have control over how you present yourself. you're the stimulus, you're the impetus, you're the guy causing the attraction to happen. So you have control over that aspect of it, which is a key part of building that attraction. As long as you're doing your part, that's good enough. She will respond if you're doing your part. If there's no other external factors in the way, it'll happen. It's happened before. It's happened with less effort from guys. Some guys are just very shy and just say, hey, I like you. I want your number. I mean, it's happened from that. It's not as likely, but it's happened. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. You're just trying to increase your odds. You're just trying to put everything in your favor that you possibly can. And there's a lot of things that you have control over that will increase your odds that guys don't take care of. Like I said, just the simple thing is eye contact. Such a simple thing that's under your control. Guys don't take care of it. Decrease their odds dramatically. Keep going, franchise.
Alrighty. So, there was that girl. So that was the story, right?
Right.
And that actually was the next day that I planned. I'm like, yeah, let's go out for lunch tomorrow, right? She didn't say why she was canceled, so I mean, whatever. I fucked that up.
Right.
Next one was the girl I wrote that long field report about. And again, I started out, and it was good in the beginning of me saying, I like you because of this, I think you're cute because of this, I want to go on a date, things of that nature. That was good. Not great, but good. And so, got her number. I called her a couple days after that, and that's where I had the big expectation management realization about when you care. Like, I texted her something, and she said something about how she was offended about my text message, and that's where I had the realization, like, I care more about the fact that I want to say my text message, what I said, than her offense that she takes to it, right? So, I got that across, and suddenly she started being more receptive, more open. So that was that big realization that happened there, right? So, that's where the lesson of, how long a time period, if you stretch it out over too long, she has the chance to become scared or for it to the emotion to wear off or whatever, right? Because I called her and she's like, yeah, I'm getting sick right now. So I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll just talk to you. We'll set up something for next week, right? And then it's like I called her again a couple days later and I'm like, yeah, let's set something up like 4 or 5 days from now. And then like 3 days after that.
Yeah, if you haven't gone out with a girl, here's my advice. If you haven't gone out with a girl, you should take every opportunity that you contact her to talk. That's why I encourage Bogler to fill the entire message on the answer machine. Because let's say you call a girl and you talk, or let's say you initially meet a girl for an hour, and you have a good conversation for an hour, she's attracted, she's emotionally invested, or her emotions are up, I should say, for that hour, she agrees to meet you the next day. Something comes up, so you agree to meet next week. And you call her again in the middle of the week and you leave a message and say, hey, still on for next week, see you later. During that time, that week, that emotion is dwindling to zero, basically. Now you're a stranger. It's like if the milkman called her and said, let's go out. You are the milkman. So to be more than the milkman, you have to express yourself. You have to let her know that you are this person that she has to have a reason to be emotionally invested in, and she has to have an incentive to meet you. So if she's not answering her phone, a great way to do that is just leave a message on the answer machine. A long, rambling message. Doesn't matter. As long as you're practicing the things that we teach you about expression at Manhood Academy.
Yeah.
Those things work. Those things will enable you to rekindle that initial attraction. So the girl will realize this is you, and she's going to associate all these things with you. And now she's going to be building emotional investment in you versus just thinking you're another stranger. Right. You're just another guy who wants to go out with her.
And something else with that same girl, like I wrote down, when I did call her that first time, I wanted to be expressive, but again, for some reason, very, very nervous. Well, not for some reason. I was very nervous talking to her on the phone.
Yeah, and another thing is, you're, like a lot of guys are afraid to fuck up. Right. Like, let's say you screw up and leave a bad message. Call her right back. Leave a good message.
And I did that with her, as a matter of fact, too.
That's perfect. Yeah. Another example is you said you failed with this other girl. You blew it in the text message. Let's say you know you blew it. You can message her back a week later and start over from scratch. In your mind, you're thinking back logically, well, I blew it and X, Y, Z happened. But in her mind, it's just all emotion-based. So if you can get those emotions back up, you can go out with her, even if you fucked up a week before, and called her a bitch. I don't know how many girls I've thrown out of my house and it's just ended badly. How good can it end? Or how well can it end if you throw somebody out of your house?
Well, you're usually not happy. That doesn't really say a lot about
what
she's
but
thinking about.
It usually creates a bad feeling when you throw somebody out of your house and
right,
their
like
intentions or their expectations are that you're going to have a good time. And if you do something where you throw them out of the house, it obviously creates a bad feeling.
Well, is it a straight up bad feeling, or is it like one of those bad feelings?
It depends. Sometimes if she's emotionally invested, it'll work in my favor because it's a bad feeling for her and she wants to rekindle the good feeling.
Right.
But if it's a new girl that I just met, I kick her out. It's gonna work against me usually.
But it's not over, is what you're saying, though.
Yeah, it's not over. I mean, I could meet her a year later, a month later, or I could call her next week, which I did with a girl that I kicked out. It worked out after that. So I also shared, I think there's an old report I gave where I met this girl at, the first time I met this girl was at like a 7-Eleven or something, just walking out of the store. This is where I used to get lunch at. That's the one place. And there was a Subway right there. And I walked out, and the first thing I said was something that was kind of like, she took it as an insult. And she just didn't say anything. And that was the first time I talked to her. And I was like, that bitch. And it was just totally bad. Then I saw her maybe 2 weeks to a month later and said something else. I completely forgot it was her. Just said something else, and it was good. It eventually ended up boning her. But the point was, if I had gone with just logically saying, oh, the first time it went just terrible, I blew the first impression. You know, they say first impressions are everything. I blew the first impression, and there's no way to recover. How can I recover? Because logically I just blew the first impression. Well, if I'm controlling expectations, I'm saying to everybody involved in a social interaction with me, I did not blow the first expectation. The first expectation doesn't count, or the first impression doesn't count. I didn't blow the first impression, and then I'm just enforcing my expectation. I'm saying I didn't blow it. I'm applying and I'm supporting my expectation. And meanwhile, if anybody says yes, you did blow it, I'm undermining their expectation by applying pain to it. Saying you're crazy, you're high. No, I was doing this. That's fine. Or I can just completely ignore it, like it never happened, and keep supporting my expectation, saying, hey, how are you doing? I like you, etc. Completely just supporting my expectation, which is, yes, this girl I blew it with a week ago or 2 weeks ago, it went badly, but now I'm giving myself a clean slate, and I'm just supporting my expectation. Works just fine. More often than you think. So unless you called her a total cunt, bitch, whore, and even that's not gone for sure. As a perfect example is we were out with a bunch of guys at a club at Beachfront, and this chick was acting like a bitch. I was trying to pick her up in the beginning, and then something, and then it's gotten insulting. It's gotten straight out insulting.
Yeah.
And I said, don't act like a bitch. Go away, don't act like a bitch. Like just straight out in front of people. And then she was just like adamant about being in my face and fuck you, right? She left, and then we were sitting at a table. She reapproached us. She was a little drunker, crying a little bit about why was I so mean, and then it was on.
Nice.
So nothing really. I mean, short of decapitating a girl or punching her in the face, I'm sure. I mean, even that, I'm sure. I mean, if abusers, girls stay with abusers, so even that, there's a possibility that it's not gone, it's not lost.
Right.
So
the lesson is don't think of her emotional state as being something permanent.
Yes, don't think of her emotional state as being something permanent.
Which works both ways. Both you have to keep it up, and when it's down, it can come back up too. So
yes.
It's the same way with both things that we're talking about.
It works both ways.
That's sweet.
Girls, you should realize that your authority trumps a girl's emotional state. Your authority, like, you gotta understand, girls are very reactive. They react to you, the stimulus. Just like fashion trends. Girls wear clothes that they considered 10 years ago to be fucking retarded, right? 70s, bell bottoms, now they're stupid, but now they're back in fashion, right? Why is that? Everybody thought they were stupid. Social expectations were against bell bottoms. And now, no problem wearing bell bottoms, they're cool. How is this even possible? Emotional state. Creating social expectations. Very powerful. Peer pressure for a girl, very powerful. We were at a club, and we talked to this girl. Me and Dr. Ladice were at actually a bar over in Newport. And we talked to this girl, and she was a bitch, like, I'm too cool for school. And I tried to talk to her in the beginning, and she was just like not having it. I said, fuck this bitch, we'll deal with her later. And I said, you know what? I told Dr. Ladice, I sat down at the table, I said, you know what? We're going to get this girl talking to us at the end of the night. And we started going around. When it started filling, the bar filled up. Started going around, talking to girls, creating attraction. And then we had girls coming to our table. And then we had that girl come over and apologize, which was sweet because she saw all the interest we were getting from other people around us. And then she realized, oh, they have the social status. So their emotional state totally changed than what it was before. Again, your authority trumps a girl's resolution, a girl's intentions, a girl's emotional state. Because girls are very pliable, they're very reactive to how you lead them. To what boundaries you set, to what expectations you have.
Sweet, dude.
Sweet.
That's pretty sick.
What's going down, Boggles? What's going down in Boggles land? I heard you're...
Hey, well, can I
finish up.
Yeah, let me finish my thing, right? So basically, So that chick, again, you see the theme here is like, all right, I can get it started in the beginning. Doesn't always work, but I can do it more often than not. So it's like just learning these lessons as you go on. It's just learning lessons. It's the same as learning lessons with anything else, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, just like in the months since then, it's kind of, or the weeks since then, it's been sort of like, I've been getting more and more frustrated because I sort of feel like I'm not really focused on one thing. I just feel like it should be done. It should be easy, right? So I should just be able to walk in and not have to manage anything or think about anything. So the past couple weeks, I've been getting really frustrated just about the way things were going. But I think that I don't think that that's not a permanent condition or anything like that. That's now that I'm back, I got focused on where I was, what I can do, and basically the direction I need to go back in just by like having conversations like this. So I think that I'm going in the right track that way. So. Like,
sounds very diplomatic.
Well, I mean, it's like, you know, I wrote out, you know, the problems I've been having, the concerns I've been having. Like, you know, I don't know what my expectations are. I don't feel like I can express myself as well as you know, and it's like...
I feel you should avoid talking about social interaction. I feel you should start just being more specific and practical. Forget about explaining where you're at, where you think you're at, because all that is not serving you at all.
That's the point, is that it wasn't serving me at all.
And it's still the point. The point you need to get to is start being practical. Just start being specific and practical, and forget about talking about how you think it's going, how you think your social interaction is in general, comparing it to your progress. I don't hear terms like progress. I don't hear terms like change. I don't want to hear Obama speeches. All I care about is you saying, I talked to Sally. Sally said this. I'm trying to do this now. That's all I want to hear from you. I don't want to hear any more about my social interaction is great. It's progressing from 10 years ago. I'm hoping to cover this aspect of that. I don't want to hear any of that.
All right.
Save that for your mama. From now on, I'm practicing this. I'm talking to this girl. That's all I want to hear. Because that's really just what you need to focus on. The other stuff is distortions. It's partly distortions, and it's partly causing more distortions. The frustration where you're at, you wouldn't be frustrated if you knew where you're at. If you fail and you knew where you're at, like, you go out and you talk to bitches. Talk to girls. Talk to bitches. Whatever. Whatever you want to call them. And you could talk to girls and not do the things that are required to attract them. And think, 1 week, you're having a good week. It seems like you're talking to girls and they're responding. And the next week, oh, it's gone cold. I don't know what I'm doing. Or they're all bitches, you know. How do you know if you're doing it right or not? Well, you have to have a practical grasp of your ability to meet your expectations. Are you sure that you're making eye contact? Are you sure that your posture is good? Are you sure that you're speaking clearly? Are you sure that you're stating your expectations explicitly? Are you sure that you're, talking to a girl and stating your interests? Are you leading the conversation towards your expectation of getting a date with her? Are you doing these things? Yes or no? If you can definitively say yes every time, then you should be focusing on the outcome, because the outcome will happen. The outcome is kind of deceptive. It's like sometimes I pay attention to the outcome, and it's frustrating. I know what you're talking about, because sometimes you just have like weeks where you're talking to girls and just no responses, or they just give you like a, and it's always frustrating to not get approval when you're talking to somebody. But then if you don't change your expectations, if you keep expressing yourself in an authoritative manner, eventually it just happens. Like I shared in the last podcast, 5 girls in one day, right? All good positive responses just happen to happen that way. And I know from experience, sometimes it's just the opposite of that. It's like you talk to a bunch of girls and it just goes nowhere. And you're like, fuck, what happened? Fuck, I'm losing it. Whatever, It's not losing, it's just the outcome is out of your control. It's what the things that you can control are your authoritative presentation. Are you expressing authority? Are you able to enforce your authority, your expectations? Are you expressing yourself well? Are you giving people incentive to talk to you? Those things are in your control. As long as you're taking care of those things, the chips will fall into place where they should fall into place.
Agreed.
Yes. Sweet. I actually want to address something before I get to Bosler, before I forget. Our silent student mentioned, this is also why I wrote the post today about failure, and I posted the Michael Jordan video about his commercial, which is one of my favorite commercials to watch. He says, I was entrusted to take the game-winning shot 26 times and missed, and at the end he says, and that is why I succeed. And the point I wanted to get across there is, it's so important to go through that process of failure. And most students, most guys, most everybody wants to avoid that process. And because they avoid that process, they avoid progress. They avoid success. That's why they're not successful. And one of the instances I want to cover is one of our silent students had a good experience in that it was negative. it was good. It was in that it was educational, but it was a negative result. Like he was talking to a girl during the week, and it seemed to be going good, and seemed to be leading up to asking her out. But in the end, it ended up with a girl saying, "You're creepy." So it seems like a bad result, but that is something educational to learn from, because you learn. Did you learn that you were delusional about your expectations, that you thought it was going good, or did you learn that she is just going to give a bad response, or there's certain things that you're not conveying that are attractive that aren't unattractive in your expression? And I was considering it, and I was considering, why would this girl say that the student is creepy? And I think that I can I might be able to shed some light on that. When this student speaks, he's very, not necessarily theoretical, well, there's a strong emphasis on theory, but there's also a strong component of expressing his expectations without giving the other person the incentive to meet those expectations, which is a large problem for, I would say, students who are progressing. They start to encounter that problem, is that they start caring about their expectations. They start realizing they should have them, they have the right to have expectations, they should care about them. So they're adamant about keeping them initially. Then they forget, unless I'm expressing myself attractively, there's no reason to meet those expectations. If you say respect me or don't talk to me, why should a person talk to you in the first place? You have to give them a reason. And that's what a lot of you are forgetting. And I think that's a lot about what this student is forgetting, was when he's telling this girl his expectations, he thinks he's creating attraction, but he's not giving her that incentive. It's good to tell the girl when you're talking to her, yeah, I like it when a girl does this and this, I don't like when she does this and this. Great, you gave her your expectation, but what part was the incentive? Because when you're giving her expectations she doesn't like, there has to be a reason why she accepts it. Like if a parent says to a child, you're not getting chocolate cake, the child can't just be left to the assumption that the reason why he's not getting chocolate cake is because the parent hates him. Otherwise, it's going to build up resentment over time in the child's mind. The child's going to eventually just hate the parent outright. But if the parent takes the time to enforce the expectation, let's say this child's sneaking chocolate cake at night, going to the fridge and sneaking that chocolate cake. Parent catches him, spanks him, so there's pain applied. Child's crying. Parent says, don't take chocolate cake. Kid says, fine, I won't take it, because they get the spanking. They know they don't fuck around with the parent's authority. Don't steal the chocolate cake. Now that the child's listening, the parent should provide incentive. Parent should go back to loving the child. Parent should also take the opportunity to explain why the child shouldn't get chocolate cake. Shouldn't be sneaking it. It's ruining your appetite. It's bad for you in the long run. You can have chocolate cake at certain times when I approve of it. Then this is good for you. This is healthy for you, etc. So the parent is taking the time to show them overall that the parent's rules, the parent's restriction of that chocolate cake is for the overall good outcome, for the benefit of that child. It's done out of a loving concern, not out of a vindictive, spiteful action. It's not something you do to the child just because you hate him. A lot of you aren't conveying this. So a lot of you are in the beginning are realizing, I have expectations. Don't fuck with me. Don't do this. Whereas before, you let everybody fuck with you. So now you're overkill. You're like, don't fuck with me. Well, great. Now they're not fucking with you, but nobody's fucking you at all. Nobody's talking to you. Why? Because not only must you have the expectations and go, look, here are my boundaries, but you have to go, here's the incentive to talk to me, though, and to respect my boundaries when you're talking to me. If you don't have that incentive, who wants to talk to you? Who wants to interact with you? What girl is going to be attracted to you? You're going to come off as, quote, quote, creepy. The creepy guy. The silent guy. The silent guy who has expectations, but no incentive. No speaking to this girl about how you feel about her, how she makes you feel. I like talking to you. I like walking and talking to you because you have like an awesome smile, and it makes me feel happy. Like after class, walking around with you. I want to take you out on a date. I want to do this and that, X, Y, and Z. So you're giving all this incentive. Not just that you're complimenting her, but you're telling her, what is your experience of her? How does she make you feel? You're conveying to her your personal experience. This is creating attraction. This is the incentive. It's attractive in a conversation when you talk to me and you don't just convey information, convey your expectations or convey something like you're going to class. Like high school 101 is always adamant about talking to the girl and going, or talking to his friend and going, chemistry sucks, or algebra sucks. This class blows, bro. It's much easier to do pre-calculus in Mrs. Smith's class. Who the fuck cares? I keep asking. Every time I read that, I keep going, who the fuck cares? Yes, I've had conversations like this in school, and to some extent you care. Like, let's say you're in biology, and you actually think biology sucks and you like physics instead. And this guy says, biology sucks, I like physics. Great. On a certain level, I can relate to that because I'm in his classes. But on the other hand, who gives a fuck? When he leaves, I don't start pondering that, that was such a great experience this year. Biology sucks.
Even though that is his experience.
Yeah, even though that is his experience, but he's not conveying to me, he's more conveying to me information versus
Hold on, that is his
The
experience.
degree of it is experience. Well, you're right. Okay, when he says biology sucks, that's his experience.
Yes.
How many people have said biology sucks?
A lot of people.
What does that mean when he says biology sucks? What does that mean?
It's the general opinion of it.
What does that mean? Biology sucks. What does that mean?
It's not very specific. It's very...
No, I'm asking you what that means.
It means it sucks. He doesn't
What
like
does that mean it sucks?
It means whatever the person hearing it thinks it means. But
Yeah.
The other guy thinks about it.
It means whatever I interpret it to mean.
Well,
It's
it
not very
sucks would mean it
specific.
suck.
It still sucks to
Yeah.
him, but it's not a very specific experience.
It's not
It's
a
just
very
like saying,
specific suck, yeah.
it's just like saying,
Oh, it's
I
not
like
good.
McDonald's. McDonald's is good.
Okay.
If I tell you, when I talk to you, I can convey my personal experience by going, McDonald's is good, Carl's is bad.
Okay.
Surfing is good, biking is bad. Movies are good, sitting at home is bad. I've conveyed a gamut of my personal experiences to you. How attractive is that, though? I've given you my personal experience, but how attractive is that?
Not very, because
Why?
you haven't dwelled the degree of how bad it is. You haven't been specific enough as to how bad it is.
Yes, I haven't given you
The degree of
my
specificity.
degree of my specific personal experience, which differentiates me from everybody else who says McDonald's is good or
I think
McDonald's
that's
is
very
bad.
key. That's a big key.
Yes, it is a huge key.
Yeah.
If you can't convey that, if I just say, I like you,
Okay. That's where
that's my personal experience, I like you.
That's where how articulate.
But
you
how is
are
that different from
makes
this guy saying, I like you?
It's not. It's,
What if we say, let's say you say to a girl, I like your eyes, they're beautiful. And I say, I like your eyes, they're beautiful. And this girl's not that hot. How valuable is that to her?
not very valuable.
Yes, it is, because she's not hot.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Because of yeah.
She's only heard from two guys.
Yeah.
What if there's a super hot, smoking hot chick like, who's super hot?
Some girl you want.
Who's super hot? A silent student almost chimed up. He's going to mime it. He's going to draw her body.
Kim Kardashian.
Beyonce.
Beyonce. I think she's disgusting. But okay,
let's
we'll assume she's super hot. We'll assume she's super hot. We'll assume we're all black guys in the room and we're watching Beyonce videos. And she's super hot. Okay? And our silent student writes to her a note that says, your eyes are beautiful. And our Indian student says,
Yo, I want to.
your eyes are beautiful. And Franchise says,
Your eyes are beautiful.
and
Squeeze your
Plum
eyes.
says, your eyes are beautiful.
Okay.
How valuable is that to her, this beautiful chick,
That's
Beyonce?
very valuable. She can't really differentiate between the
She's no, it's one is the same as the other.
yeah. It's not
Now, what if you say her eyes are,
are so magical and beautiful that I get lost in her eyes.
and then Franchise says,
Like sweet little cherries that I want to sniff and then eat.
and then Plum says, I like how your eyes are sparkly. It just makes me want to just grab you and kiss you and put my penis in your mouth. Okay, so we have 3 different degrees of expression of how her eyes make us feel. Our experience of her eyes are all personalized now, according to our experience of her eyes.
So the degree and specificity personalize the experience more than
Yes, more so than just saying, it is still our personal experience when we all say, I think your eyes are beautiful. But it's not as specific a degree of our experience. It's really, our experience is still really hidden.
Okay.
Especially when you use adjectives like just good or bad. That's good, that's bad. I like this, I don't like that. That sucks, that's cool.
So
It's
this-
so generic because you hear it so many times for things. How many people say, Inception sucked, or Inception was cool, right?
So
It means
isn't,
so many different things.
isn't that where how articulate you are matters?
Where your articulation comes into play. Your experience reading books. How you can construct sentences. Your grammar.
Yeah,
Your particular
adjectives.
your vernacular. The idioms you use for your region. You say, yo, what's up? Those eyes are banging, yo. Because your idioms are, from the street. Or you say, your eyes are mesmerizingly attractive. There's glowing orbs of destiny, right? Because you are very literate. You read, or you have experiences where your expression is more refined or more culturally sophisticated, whatever you want to call it.
Adjectives too.
More adjectives versus your eyes are cute.
Yeah.
You say your eyes are beautiful or your eyes are mesmerizing. You can use more adjectives or even analogies or comparisons or imagery. You can draw. The way you're moving your body. Like I'm talking. Your eyes are so amazing.
There's a lot of different
Press
ways
my
to do
hands
it.
up. Yes. So all the things, your tone, your body language, the words you choose, the idioms, culture, upbringing, your education, all those play into your expression, your specific expression of your experience to her. Those things create attractive, give incentive for this girl to respond to your expectations. Without that incentive, who cares what your expectations are? There's other guys out there she could be talking to that have expectations. Maybe not even expectations which are good like yours or as functional as yours, but they're giving her more incentive at least to meet them.
Flashy car.
Flashy car, right? Baby, get in this car. It's flashy. I like your eyes. Now get in the car. That's pretty much all you need with a car, right? Bigger incentive. And you're going, your eyes are beautiful. You have to compete with a flashy car.
Yeah, you're standing there on the street when the car goes by.
Yeah. You got to compete with a car. Boggles.
Okay, I was
Any
waiting
other-
for you to prompt me.
Probably.
You're being prompted.
Our silent student has laughed at Boggles needing a prompt after 5 years of class.
Well,
He is such a failure.
I
He
was
needs a prompt
wondering
still.
if it was my time to speak. I was waiting for the...
Is it my time to speak? May I speak at this juncture? Yes, you may speak at this juncture. Boggles still hasn't figured out how to have a conversation in class.
Yeah.
You forgot to fill out Form 5A.
5A/2/4, the conversation form.
Alright, so now that we've got that cleared.
Now that we've cleared the way for the conversation to happen,
Unravel.
hopefully the conversation will take place shortly.
Very, very shortly. Well, you know about the 2 Indian girls. Other than that, I don't know if I should really go into that, if you want me to.
I don't know, we covered it pretty well
Yeah.
on the last podcast, I thought.
So that's, last night I went to a Halloween party.
Wow, the acoustics have really improved since I shut the door.
Yes.
Yes, you went to a Halloween party last
Yeah.
night. Sweet.
From through the Manhood Academy from one of our old students. Or
Oh, sweet.
part-time students, you know him. And
Sweet.
You know what I'm talking about?
No,
Mistakes.
mistakes.
Adam?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
And,
So
yeah.
he's got a Halloween party.
Yeah, he had a Halloween party, so I went over.
Yeah, how'd it go?
I took a coworker of mine there, since
Yeah.
I didn't want to go alone. It's a Halloween party, and he said it's optional, the costume, so I went without a costume, and I was like the only guy there without a costume. So, extra pressure there.
Nice.
And then,
You always have a costume. Whether you have a costume or not, you just say, I'm Indian.
yeah, I'm an engineer.
Say you're an engineer.
So there's some, Mistakes, he's been doing some acting classes, so he knows some cute chicks, so there's some cute chicks
Sweet.
dressed up.
Sweet.
So, Mistakes, he's kind of looking out for me. He was like, just come, say whatever, say something awesome, say something stupid, just talk, meet people. So
Sweet.
that's what I did. I played some pool and then started talking.
Sweet.
And I was,
Bathroom blowjob?
no, I was failing a lot,
Oh, sweet.
but I kept talking. Guys or girls, I just kept talking.
Sweet.
And
Guy bathroom blowjob?
no, I spoke to Jesus. Like some guy came dressed as Jesus. We're talking about baptism and like baptism in the jacuzzi. But then we said there's too much jizz in the jacuzzi, so I can't get baptized here.
Wow.
Anyways,
Dirty party.
dirty party.
Very dirty party.
And-
Somebody's gonna blow down in the bathroom.
Somebody's
You're not even
gonna
walking
dirty
through
party.
somebody.
So then I started talking to different girls. They're all dressed in costume, so easy. Oh, I like your costume. It's this. I like your sailor. And that's where like my lack of knowledge of American culture was kicking in. They're like, oh, that's not that. This. Oh, okay, cool.
Cool.
I was learning new things.
Yeah.
Then I spoke to 3 Indian girls who didn't even look Indian. I was like, wow, I haven't been around Indians for a
You
while.
bitches look hot. You don't look
I said,
good.
you look Armenian, you look Persian, you look Hispanic. And she's like, what?
What?
Like,
Yeah, you
anyways.
look like my maid. Awesome.
Anyway, so then I started talking to the Armenian-looking Indian girl, and it was working. And I had to talk to all 3 of them at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And they're kind of a little being bitchy, and then so I started like trying to put the Armenian chick in place, like not in place, but try
Keep
to
that bitch in check.
Yeah, and like
Keep your pimp hand strong.
she would laugh and then and then I pointed that out to her. I was like, you laugh like you know you
laugh?
you laugh and then you go back. Whereas
You
this
go
girl
back.
over here, I like her laugh. It's more open.
It's more
This girl
open.
is like, so this girl is like, thank you. And
Thank
then
you.
the other girl is like, oh, okay. And then, so I'm like talking, and then eventually I'm like, yeah. I'm like, there's like hiccups where I run out of stuff to say, and I'm like, for a second I was like waiting for her. I was like, wait, no, I have to keep
You
talking.
ran out of stuff to say. What's that mean? You ran out of stuff
My
to
lack
say.
of practice with
Yeah,
expressing
exactly.
myself. I felt that a lot because I spoke to a lot of girls. Like I spoke some hot. I would just like speak 4 or 5 sentences, and then I'm like, okay, lack of practice kicking in.
Lack of practice kicking.
And one girl actually, I was talking to her and it was going well, but then I realized other things I wasn't doing. I was talking about my experience of her. We started talking about George Washington and shit, and my experience of George Washington.
Yeah, that's what you should start talking about.
So, but she was like going out talking, and then she realized, oh, okay, I need to go dance or something.
She realized, oh, this is lame.
So she's like, you're a good conversationalist. I'm like, thank you.
Sweet.
And then I realized what was going on. I spoke to 4 or 5 other girls. I got a lot of responses where I spoke to Supergirl. Initially, I like told her, oh, I like Supergirl when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Then later on, when I was pausing, she's like, I need to get a drink. And I got a lot of, I need to get a drink. So that's when I realized,
I need to go away from you.
yeah, my expression practice, that's... So a lot of fails last night.
A lot of fails.
That was good. And then finally, around 12 o'clock, I couldn't take it anymore. Enough failing.
Fail.
My friend actually, he got frozen up. Like, I was trying to look out for him to say he can talk to. He talked to like 2, 3 black chicks. He wanted to start with that.
Right.
And,
No
then-
interest in it at all.
oh no, he was never going to state interest.
Oh, you either, right?
I said, yeah, I like your Supergirl dress. Yeah, no direct interest.
Yeah, no direct interest at all, of course.
I went back to the Indian girl afterwards, but by then it was too late.
Yeah, by that
I went up like, I hesitated for a couple of seconds and I was like, I actually wanted to come tell you something, but I forgot.
Yeah, and then later. So,
So-
no, technically no interest in it.
So
So,
that's true. I had no interest
no
in
girls
it.
thought you were interested in
Well, I thought I have to first make some conversation.
Yeah, he thought because he's been in class for 5 years and
No, hold on. I thought do
have
some
nothing to do with what we teach here.
No, like some expression, give some incentive, and then state interest.
Well,
Rather
hold on, state interest and then give the expression practice and then
I thought,
state the interest.
okay, this is what I was thinking. I was like, since I generally state interest and then my expression starts, why don't I try expression first and then state interest?
Yeah,
And then-
expression first. The way you use expression is like the way Mexicans use missile launchers. They have no idea what they're talking about. They have no idea what they're doing. You think expression is like this like belt on your tool or tool
Let
on
me
your
put it
belt?
up. Yeah.
I mean,
He's doing the same thing.
do you know what expression does that go? Because the dog's. I'll throw it out later.
Alright, cool.
Do you know what expression is? Could you explain it to him? Because he's misusing the term. That's why he never understands what's going on.
Expression
He
refers.
said he uses expression later. What's wrong with the sentence? First, I gave my incentive, and then I gave my expression. What's wrong with that sentence?
Hold on, hold on,
If you're
let me
saying-
clarify that.
No, don't clarify
Okay,
that.
alright,
If
fine.
you're saying anything, you're expressing something.
Yes.
Yes.
The very first
How
thing you
about,
say.
do you have to be saying something to express something?
No, if you're being
When are you not expressing something?
when you're not around a person.
When you're dead.
When
When
you're
you're
dead.
not. You're not there.
Yeah.
What is expression?
Expression is everything that you convey to everybody who is affected by you in any way.
That would be so awesome if people actually understood that term.
Yeah.
It would be so much easier.
Well, I mean, sort of, I had the same thing before, right? Where I thought, I have to express something in general of whatever, express
Right.
whatever, and then I can state it. I had the
Well,
same
that's
thing.
where I
you did.
picked it up
Right.
from.
But
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So
It's
tell
all
me
my fault.
what is
So-
expression? Okay. Boggles.
Expression is conveying your experience of things that are happening, right?
Yeah. When?
At that moment or
When?
other moments.
When are you expressing?
When you're talking, anytime you're talking to somebody, you're expressing.
What if you're not talking to somebody?
You're non-verbally expressing it by your gestures.
Okay. Sweet.
So this is where I was like, I say a few things about how she makes me feel overall, and then maybe state interest, which I never got to. Okay.
Awesome.
Anyway,
There we go.
and then I told mistakes I'm going to take off. He took pictures of me, and he said, "Tell Ninja Master we love him. I love him.
Sweet.
Like we all love Ninja Master." And then,
Sweet.
and my friend
You
was
guys probably know
my friend was kind of bummed out. Like initially, I didn't really notice it. He was like, "Oh, dude, we're like the only two colored people here, like 45 people." And it didn't really bother me because I only think in terms of principles.
Right.
And then he said, "Alright, whatever." I started seeing this view, and then he was not able to talk to anybody. I was kind of in a failure, so
Yeah.
Kind of leave.
It's more about being the only two unattractive people there. Really, it's not really about the color.
yeah, it's more like the lack of ability
Lack
to
of
keep
authority
the
there,
keep
yeah.
the conversation going.
Right.
Lack of having the balls to this that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I would say that's more accurate.
Yes, I just realizing I like also seeing.
Well, it's more, he's more talking about culture. Like you being Indian is indicative of the experience. Versus, it's not just you that the fact that you're physically Indian, your body is Indian,
Yeah.
but your culture causes you to not be so authoritative or whatever is in the Indian culture.
Yeah.
That's causing the poor experience. He's just associating with because we're Indian. Like a lot
Well,
of
he's
people do,
Filipino. He's not even Indian.
like dating studies. They do like Asian guys are the worst guys for dating because again, it has to do with the Asian culture, how they're raised.
He
So-
has that in his mindset. Like it was.
well, right. That's why guys go, girls don't like me because they're Asian. And girls don't like Asians because they associate Asians with that culture. Even if you're a cool Asian guy, you're going to be associated with that
Yeah.
Asian culture. So you got to break past that. Especially when you first talk to a girl, she can have a totally negative mentality or perspective against Asians. And you just come, you're an Asian guy, but you just come very authoritative, very orderly. Boop, and now she's attracted. She forgot all about that.
And I
Because you created the new social expectation.
So that was the Halloween party last night, and other than that,
I want to comment with something right here.
Yeah, do it.
Bogler is talking about something I used to talk to him about, and I myself talked about, is that
What's that?
I first, before I had the guts to state interest at all, right,
Uh-huh.
one of the big discoveries for me is just discovering that people actually do like it when you express yourself and when you open up with your thoughts on things. So what I did for a while is that, it was probably maybe 6-8 months ago, my mission when I went out during the day was just to say something, just to express my experience of anything.
Right.
What she's wearing, what that tree looks like over there, what I
Right.
think of the weather, something like that, right?
Right.
And so I did that and say, hey, wow, girls smile and laugh and keep talking to you when you say things like that,
Yeah.
right? So I suggested to Bogler, look, you're at the point right now where you don't realize that when you open up, people are going to start liking you more, people are going to want to talk to you, right? So I
Right.
suggested he did something similar to what I did. But he's falling into the same trap I fell into where it's like you think of, okay, since I can express something, that means people like me, so I'll build up them liking me first
Yeah.
and then say,
and then say
I
it
like
at the
them
right
afterwards,
moment.
right?
And then wait for her.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. And that's the problem I had, which is what I'm still kind of getting over right now, but you shouldn't fall into the trap of thinking,
Damn, dude,
well,
I was falling in.
well, yeah, that's what I'm telling you right now is that if you can express how she makes you feel and the fact that you want to go out with her, that's still expression.
That is
You can express
okay,
that. You express that the same way you express anything else.
Well,
but-
okay.
Everything overlaps. You guys, the problem is a
Everything
lot of you guys are compartmentalizing things and
Right.
thinking like social experiences like it's like expression, like you said, expression first, then incentive, then expectation management. Like all these things are these separate things.
Yeah. Well,
A lot of times, all these things are happening at the same time.
Right. The thing about it is, like, when you can't express anything at all, it's like nobody likes you, whatever. When you get the first thing where, okay, I can express something and people like me because of that, it's kind of like the new shiny toy gun, right? You think, oh, I've got this thing, right? This is the key to everything. All I have to do is do this and everything's going to work out. It's like, you feel so happy about it, you don't realize that there's more to it than that. So it's like, it's easy to, compartmentalizing usually comes with like a realization of one particular area, right? And then it's like, you get so focused on just doing that one thing because it feels like, oh, maybe this is the key to everything, right? Maybe all I have to do is this and everything works like this.
Yeah, if I just get good at expression.
Yeah.
It's
It's sort of like I got with expectation management over the past couple months, right? Like I managed one expectation with one girl. It's like, oh, now I can do that. That's all I have to do, right? That's all I have to think about is just, boom, this is my expectation, and whatever the result is, it's like that's all I have to worry about. And that's why you lose your perspective on things. It's getting too caught up in one particular aspect. So it's good to like practice a specific thing, gain success on it, but you never want to let that become the single dominating key to your life, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Another mistake I was making was like, if I stayed interest, like, oh shit, now I have to amp up the incentive. Like,
I have to amp up the incentive. Oh no!
Like, oh shit, I better think of some shit.
Oh shit, man! Oh shit, man!
So I was like, oh, let me just play it safe. Let me try amping up the incentive first and then stay interest.
Amp the incentive, then give her the shot of adrenaline.
Get the emotions up.
Emotions
And
up.
then, oh, I like
Emotions
rice.
spiking. Sweet.
So that was
What
my fucked up view of my perspective is kind of still very skewed. So
Awesome.
I should just tell her that.
Awesome. Congratulations. I think that's...
Oh, hold on, and
What?
then the cougar.
and then the cougar.
I made out with her after like 2 minutes of seeing her.
I said, hey, what's up, cougar? Make out.
I like your smile. And
I like your smile.
You have a certain sexiness to you.
What
What was coming to my mind? And then I held her hand and walked to the dance floor.
I held her hand, walked to the dance floor.
And then she was just drunk, so that was good. And
She's wasted. She's on it.
Yeah, she's hard.
Yeah.
She still started like looking at her, and then I just went for the kiss.
Just went in and kissed her. No
and
problem.
Then, like kissing, and then like
Make
touching
it
her and
out.
stuff. And she's getting turned on. We go to the side, and then we make
Go
up
to
for
the
the
side.
water. And she's like, I'm like, oh, we gotta keep this going. We gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, let's go somewhere.
She's like, no, I just met you. And then
Bang it.
she's like, let me get your number. So I got a number. I got a number. But then later on, we did end up going to the Best Western.
The Best Western.
I go to the gas station.
Go to the gas station.
I bought a bottle of water.
Get some bottle of water.
And then when she gave me a
Sanitary
blowjob.
napkins. Blowjob.
And then there's things I didn't like in her body, where she had kids, so
She had kids.
the stomach was kind
The
of
stomach
loose.
was loose.
But also I was banging. I never came.
Banging it.
So then I went to the bathroom and finished myself. And then
Finished it off in the
I
bathroom.
dropped her off at her friend's place.
And later.
She's texted me. She even left a voicemail saying, she's like, hey, you should come take me out for a date.
Come take me out for a date. And you're like, thank you, no thank you.
And then I
Thank you, but
texted-
no thank you.
a couple of times, that's it.
Baby.
She said, do you like the way I dance? And then
You said,
I like
"You
the way you
do,
suck my
grandma."
cock. And then she's like,
Oh, so sexy.
you want a kiss? And I'm like, no, you should set up a threesome with your blonde friend.
Yeah, so
She was
threesome.
like, well, you never came in the first time.
Yeah.
You didn't like it. I was like, maybe I'll come this time.
Yeah,
She was
maybe
like,
this time. Oh,
And that was it.
sexy talk. Some sexy talk with Bogler.
Oh, and after I had the sex with her, where
Yeah,
I didn't come,
sex
I
with her.
pinned her down and stuff, and I'm like, I'm the man.
I'm the
And I
man.
said, and she liked that.
Oh, she's turned on. I'm the man. Oh, you're so manly. Yes, pin me down. Okay.
So that was that part. But I realized after Cougars, I want younger women.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for that story. Whew. This concludes another episode of Manhood Academy Podcasting. See you laters.